Picture this. John, a 58-year-old construction manager from Ohio, thought he was making a smart choice. After a long day at work, he grabbed yesterday's leftover fried rice from the fridge, popped it in the microwave for 2 minutes, and sat down to enjoy what he believed was a quick, harmless meal. Within 6 hours, John was rushed to the emergency room with severe food poisoning that landed him in the hospital for 3 days. The culprit? Not spoiled food, not poor hygiene, but something far more sinister that happens inside your microwave when you reheat certain foods. What John didn't know, and what most men over 50 don't realize, is that your microwave can transform everyday leftovers into silent health bombs. The same convenient appliance sitting on your kitchen counter right now could be slowly poisoning you, creating toxic compounds that attack your digestive system, weaken your immune defenses, and accelerate the aging process in ways that won't show up until it's too late. Here's the terrifying truth that the food industry doesn't want you to know. Certain foods, when reheated in a microwave, undergo dangerous chemical transformations that create compounds more harmful to your body than eating raw meat. These aren't just minor stomach upsets we're talking about. We're discussing serious health risks that can trigger heart problems, liver damage, and even contribute to cognitive decline, risks that become exponentially more dangerous as we age. The most shocking part: the 5 foods I'm about to reveal are probably sitting in your refrigerator right now, foods you've been reheating for years, thinking you're being practical and avoiding waste, foods that every nutrition expert will tell you are healthy, until you put them in that microwave for the second time. You see, gentlemen, after age 50, our bodies don't bounce back like they used to. Our digestive systems become more sensitive, our immune response is slower, and our ability to process toxins significantly diminished. What might give a 25-year-old a mild stomachache could put a man over 50 in the hospital. That's why this information isn't just helpful, it's potentially life-saving. Today, I'm going to expose the 5 most dangerous foods that should never see the inside of your microwave again, especially if you're over 50. But more importantly, I'm going to arm you with the knowledge to protect yourself, your health, and your independence. Because let's be honest, at our age, a serious bout of food poisoning isn't just inconvenient. It can be the beginning of a downward spiral that affects everything from your energy levels to your cognitive function. This isn't about being overly cautious or paranoid. This is about understanding that the rules of food safety change as we age, and what worked for us in our 30s and 40s might be quietly undermining our health today. The science is clear. Men over 50 face unique vulnerabilities when it comes to foodborne illnesses and toxin exposure, yet nobody talks about how common kitchen practices can exploit these vulnerabilities. I've spent years researching the intersection of food safety and aging health, working with nutritionists, food scientists, and medical professionals who specialize in senior health. What I've discovered will shock you. The microwave, that symbol of modern convenience, can actually accelerate the very health problems we're trying to avoid as we age. Inflammation, digestive disorders, immune system suppression, and cellular damage. But here's what makes this even more critical for men specifically. Research shows that men over 50 are 40% more likely to ignore early warning signs of food poisoning, attributing symptoms to stress, lack of sleep, or just getting older. We tough it out, push through the discomfort, and end up allowing toxins to wreak havoc on our systems for days or even weeks before seeking help. The foods I'm about to reveal don't just cause immediate illness, they create cumulative damage. Every time you reheat that leftover chicken in the microwave, every time you warm up yesterday's rice, you're potentially adding another layer of toxic burden to your liver, another source of inflammation to your cardiovascular system, another challenge to your already working harder digestive tract. Before we dive into these potentially life-saving revelations, I need you to do 2 things that could literally save your life or the life of someone you care about. First, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. This channel is dedicated to giving men over 50 the health information that mainstream medicine often overlooks, the practical, actionable knowledge that can make the difference between thriving in your golden years and merely surviving them. Second, I want to know you're with me on this journey. If you've ever reheated leftovers in the microwave and experienced unexplained digestive issues, fatigue, or just felt off afterward, type 1 in the comments. If you've never made this connection before, type 0. Your participation helps me understand how widespread these hidden dangers really are, and it helps other men realize they're not alone in experiencing these mysterious health issues. Remember, we're not just talking about avoiding a stomachache here. We're talking about protecting the quality of life you've worked decades to build. The first dangerous food, leftover rice, the silent bacterial multiplier. Let's start with the one that sent John to the hospital, rice. Now I know what you're thinking. Rice is one of the most basic, harmless foods on the planet. How could reheating rice possibly be dangerous? The answer lies in a deadly bacteria called Bacillus cereus, and understanding this could save your life. Here's what happens that you can't see. When rice is cooked and then left at room temperature, even for just an hour, Bacillus cereus spores that survived the initial cooking process begin to multiply exponentially. These aren't ordinary bacteria that your immune system can easily handle. These are spore-forming bacteria that create toxins specifically designed to survive extreme temperatures, including the heat of your microwave. When you reheat that rice, you're not killing the bacteria or neutralizing the toxins. Instead, you're creating the perfect storm. The microwave's uneven heating creates hot spots and cold spots, allowing bacteria to thrive in the cooler areas, while the toxins become more concentrated in the heated areas. For a man over 50, whose stomach acid production has naturally decreased and whose immune system isn't as robust as it once was, this combination can be devastating. The symptoms start subtly. Maybe some mild nausea, a feeling of heaviness after eating, or unusual fatigue. You might blame it on work stress or just one of those days. But what's really happening is that your digestive system is under attack. The toxins from Bacillus cereus cause inflammation in your intestinal lining, disrupting nutrient absorption and forcing your liver to work overtime to process the toxic load. I've seen men dismiss these symptoms for weeks, only to end up with chronic digestive issues that doctors struggle to diagnose. The connection to reheated rice never occurs to them. And why would it? We've been told rice is safe, healthy, a staple food. But the truth is, leftover rice reheated in the microwave is one of the leading causes of food poisoning in adults over 50. The second dangerous food, eggs, the protein. Denaturation disaster. Eggs might be your go-to breakfast, packed with protein and nutrients that support muscle health and brain function. But reheating eggs in the microwave transforms this nutritional powerhouse into a potential health hazard that's particularly dangerous for men in their 50s and beyond. When eggs are reheated, especially in the microwave's intense, uneven heat, the proteins undergo a process called denaturation. This isn't just changing the texture. It's fundamentally altering the molecular structure of the proteins in ways that can create toxic compounds. These altered proteins can trigger inflammatory responses in your digestive system and place additional stress on your kidneys, which are already working harder to filter toxins as you age. But here's the part that will really concern you. Reheated eggs become a breeding ground for salmonella bacteria that can survive the reheating process. Your microwave doesn't heat food evenly. It creates hot spots and cold spots. While the hot spots might reach temperatures that would normally kill bacteria, the cold spots become safe havens where salmonella can not only survive, but actually multiply. For men over 50, salmonella poisoning isn't just a few uncomfortable days. It can lead to serious complications including dehydration that stresses your cardiovascular system, electrolyte imbalances that affect heart rhythm, and in severe cases, systemic infections that can be life-threatening. Your recovery time is longer, your symptoms more severe, and the impact on your overall health more lasting than it would be for younger men. I know a 54-year-old engineer who religiously meal prepped scrambled eggs every Sunday for the week ahead. He'd microwave them each morning for breakfast, proud of his healthy routine. After months of mysterious fatigue, joint pain, and digestive issues, he discovered that his healthy breakfast was slowly poisoning him. Within 2 weeks of stopping the reheated eggs, his energy returned and his symptoms disappeared. The third dangerous food, chicken, the salmonella and uneven heating. Nightmare. Chicken is often the centerpiece of our efforts to eat healthy protein, especially as we age and become more conscious of maintaining muscle mass. But reheating chicken in the microwave is like playing Russian roulette with your health, and the odds get worse every year after 50. The primary danger lies in the microwave's inability to heat chicken evenly. Chicken must reach an internal temperature of 165 degrees to kill harmful bacteria like Salmonella and Campylobacter. But microwaves heat from the outside in, creating a false sense of security. The outside might be steaming hot, while the inside remains at temperatures where bacteria thrive, typically between 40 degrees and 140 degrees, what food scientists call the danger zone. Law. What makes this particularly insidious is that you can't tell by looking, smelling, or even tasting whether dangerous bacteria are present. That piece of reheated chicken might seem perfectly fine, but it could be harboring millions of bacteria ready to overwhelm your digestive system. For men over 50 whose stomach acid production has naturally decreased, these bacteria face less resistance and can establish themselves more easily in your system. The consequences go far beyond temporary food poisoning. Campylobacter, commonly found in chicken, has been linked to Guillain-Barré syndrome, a serious condition that can cause muscle weakness and paralysis. While rare, the risk increases with age and repeated exposure. Salmonella can lead to reactive arthritis, causing joint pain and swelling that can last for months or even become chronic. I've worked with men who developed what they thought was age-related joint stiffness, only to discover it was actually reactive arthritis triggered by repeated low-level bacterial infections from improperly reheated chicken. The inflammation these infections cause doesn't just affect your joints. It impacts your entire cardiovascular system, potentially accelerating the development of heart disease and stroke. The fourth dangerous food, mushrooms, the cellular breakdown and toxin formation factory. Mushrooms are nutritional powerhouses packed with antioxidants, B vitamins, and compounds that support immune function. But when you reheat mushrooms in the microwave, you're transforming these health allies into potential enemies through a process that's particularly harmful to aging bodies. Mushrooms have a unique cellular structure that's more complex than most vegetables. When they're reheated, especially in the aggressive, uneven heat of a microwave, their cells break down in ways that can create toxic compounds. The proteins in mushrooms can form nitrosamines when reheated, compounds that are known carcinogens and are particularly dangerous for men over 50 whose DNA repair mechanisms are already working less efficiently. But the real danger lies in what happens to the mushroom's natural defense compounds. Fresh mushrooms contain beneficial compounds that support health, but when these are broken down through reheating, they can form oxidative compounds that actually increase inflammation in your body. For men over 50, who are already dealing with increased background inflammation as part of the aging process, this additional oxidative stress can accelerate cellular aging and increase the risk of chronic diseases. Here's something that will surprise you. Reheated mushrooms can actually interfere with your body's ability to absorb nutrients from other foods eaten at the same meal. The damaged proteins and altered cellular structure can bind to minerals like zinc and iron, making them unavailable to your body. Over time, this can contribute to nutrient deficiencies that affect everything from your energy levels to your immune function. I know this might seem extreme. After all, mushrooms are vegetables, right? But I've seen men who regularly reheated mushroom-containing meals develop unexplained fatigue, brain fog, and even digestive issues that resolved completely when they stopped microwaving their mushroom leftovers. The connection isn't obvious, which is why so many men suffer these symptoms for months or years without understanding the cause. The fifth dangerous food, potatoes. The solanine formation and digestive destroyer, potatoes might seem like the safest food to reheat. They're starchy, stable, and a comfort food staple. But reheating potatoes, especially in the microwave, can trigger the formation of solanine, a natural toxin that's particularly dangerous for men over 50. Solanine is a glycoalkaloid that potatoes produce as a defense mechanism. While fresh, properly cooked potatoes contain minimal amounts, the reheating process, particularly the uneven heating of microwaves, can cause solanine levels to spike dramatically. This isn't just about green potatoes or sprouted potatoes. Even normal-looking leftover potatoes can become toxic when reheated. For men over 50, solanine poisoning presents unique dangers. Your liver's ability to process toxins decreases with age, meaning solanine stays in your system longer and accumulates more easily. The symptoms, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, and neurological effects like confusion and headaches, can be mistaken for other age-related health issues, leading to misdiagnosis and continued exposure. But here's what's really concerning. Solanine doesn't just cause acute poisoning. Chronic low-level exposure, the kind you get from regularly reheating potatoes, can contribute to inflammatory conditions, digestive disorders, and even cognitive decline. The inflammation caused by solanine is particularly damaging to the cardiovascular system, potentially accelerating the development of heart disease and stroke in men who are already at increased risk due to age. The digestive impact is especially severe. Solanine damages the intestinal lining, leading to increased intestinal permeability, what's commonly called leaky gut. This allows toxins and partially digested food particles to enter your bloodstream, triggering immune responses that can cause widespread inflammation throughout your body. Now that I've potentially scared you away from your microwave forever, let me give you hope. There are foods that reheat safely and can actually support your health goals as you age. First, most vegetables reheat beautifully and safely in the microwave. Broccoli, carrots, green beans, and Brussels sprouts actually retain more nutrients when microwaved than when reheated using other methods. The key is adding a small amount of water and using lower power settings. Second, soups and stews are generally safe to reheat, provided they're heated to steaming throughout. The liquid content helps ensure even heating, and the cooking process has already broken down potentially problematic compounds. Third, properly stored and reheated grains like quinoa and barley are safe alternatives to rice. Their structure makes them less susceptible to bacterial growth, and they reheat more evenly. Fourth, fish reheats safely when done properly. Use 50% power and cover with a damp paper towel to ensure even heating without overcooking. Finally, pasta with oil-based sauces reheats well and safely, though cream-based sauces should be avoided as they can harbor bacteria. Gentlemen, knowledge is power, and the power to protect your health is one of the most valuable gifts you can give yourself and your loved ones. You've worked hard to build the life you have. Don't let hidden kitchen dangers undermine the health and vitality you need to enjoy it. This isn't about living in fear or making your life more complicated. It's about making informed choices that support the strong, healthy future you deserve. Small changes in how you handle leftovers can have profound impacts on your energy, your digestive health, and your overall quality of life. If this information opened your eyes to hidden dangers in your kitchen, smash that like button and subscribe for more health insights that mainstream sources often overlook. Share this video with the men in your life who need this information. It could literally save someone's health or even their life. Remember, your health is your most valuable asset. Protect it wisely, and it will serve you well for decades to come.